and running. There we are. And the house is making noises. Okay. Hello, welcome back to Joyless Gaming and Fallout 4 Survival in Real Time. I think I managed to survive last time. I think, was it last week that I was just kind of tired and didn't feel like playing and I didn't do an awful lot? Probably. One thing that occurred to me is that maybe I should try, I don't think I went into an interior cell, I should try going into an interior cell and see if that brings dog meat back to me. If not, I might have to look at finding him, because he's got some stuff of mine. I like how this thing keeps respawning stuff. Apparently not. If I could fast travel in survival, then I probably would get him to come back because of that, but I don't think he followed me into the glowing sea. Basically means I have to go back to the glowing sea to see if I can find him.
Just thinking how wonderful it would be to get out of this infernal rain.
Well, you want me to build some shelters or something? Because even though they act like these things are okay, I mean, look at it. The floor is wet. You do hear the sound of the rain on the roof, but yeah, the floor gets wet because it's still exterior cells. You know what? I'm very close to getting another level.
Out here, you gotta take things one day at a time.
Yep. So I could do a little bit of building and get some XP. Structures, why not? Maybe not. That's how you rotate them, that's right. Don't think I meant to press that, but anyway, I did. That'll be the ticket booth. Yeah. That thing really sucks. A lot of the metal stuff does. And given that the floors are actually in wood. Here we are. Level up. Oh, concrete floors. Eh, there already was a concrete floor. You gotta be that way. Why can't you just be a... There we go. A regular wall. To build like a rec center or something like that. So we'll cover it there and we'll leave it open at the front. Okay. I could have made it a bit more open, but anyway, I did some building. Got some XP, went up a level. So I spent some points last time, didn't I? Or I could. I was thinking maybe I want to take Aquaboy. Just because there is a lot of water around in certain places and you get irradiated really quickly in survival. Oh, I can take the next science. Intriguing. Do I need that, though? I may do. Yeah, stuff it. And, yeah, stuff it. Take Aquaboy. Alright. Well, now I should take a look at what I can do with mods, then. Why have you got your gun out, Sturgis?
Nice job with those defenses. I've got nothing else I need right now.
Stop pointing that at me.
Preston may want to chat though.
Science 3.
Please, just... I need to be alone right now.
Yeah, well, just shut up. Go away. I think, yeah, making this do better damage is going to be quite useful. And you can change it too and make it, yeah, a sniper barrel.
I hope you find your son.
Build a laser sniper. But yeah, changes the ammo capacity. And it uses more per shot. It does make it do more damage, but it uses more per shot so that you, yeah. It makes it slower. And I've got a sniper rifle. This is my up close. I can't believe you need a high science skill to put better
I wouldn't be very
stocks
good
on.
company right now.
I don't think I really need to have a better stock on that though. I've got a standard sight, improved sights. I'm just wondering if maybe I should do like a reflex sight. That's
I'd
right,
make
because I didn't
myself
have any
look-
sights.
No one wants to see a grown man feeling sorry for himself.
I think maybe a reflex sight might be better. Muzzle. Right. Don't want
I
a
should have
splitter.
done
Maybe a
more.
focuser. Better range.
I hope those
I'm using it
radiant
up
rays are
close.
what they've done.
Range and accuracy. Well, accuracy, yeah, that might stop it from bouncing around all the bloody time. So the funny thing is that laser weapons in this game, they decided, well, it's going to be instantaneous delivery, so let's make it less accurate, despite the fact that it's
Our little
literally a beam of
sanctuary
light,
revival
a
project
laser
really
light,
helped.
it's coherent light. That
Digging wide on
means,
things.
unless they've got a massive source of gravitational force, they're not affecting the accuracy of this thing.
I know I'm not the only person here who's lost someone. I miss him so much.
Super range and accuracy. It's not. So the splitter makes it do more damage, but it's, yeah, it basically turns it into a shotgun. All right.
Don't take offense to Marcy. She's working through the loss in her own way.
Yeah.
You ain't
Shut
went up to see
up.
Ray God? You should go. Whole place is run by robots.
I know. They're my friends. I don't think I needed science for anything on armor, did I? I would like to be able to put ballistics weave in a hat, though. That'd be very useful. 2 whiskeys, mute fruit for Dirty Wastelander, huh? And a Nuka-Cola. I'd rather not.
Very happy, sir. And I should
Now, do I still have crap in there that I want to get rid of? Am I carrying all of that corn and stuff? Am I carrying that? No, apparently not. Excellent. $199 shotgun shells. Maybe I should consider swapping to the shotgun as my backup weapon. Alright, anyway. Now, what am I going to be doing with my time? Going and trying to find dog meat? I didn't find... There's an actual location, a map marker for the glowing sea, isn't there? I didn't find it. Should be around here somewhere. Quincy Quarries cleared. Really? Cleared? That's where I need to go for the Vault-Tec thing. The Vault...
This is is an emergency broadcast signal from Vault 88. Authentication code word, impish. Vault 88 emergency classification. Unspecified integrity breach warning. Any available Vault-Tec personnel are required to respond under Emergency Protocol VT-76. This signal will repeat.
Right. Never actually done this. Yeah, Vault 88 now. Yeah, that was outside the quarries. Alright, I'm going to give this a go. I've never done the Vault-Tec stuff. In fact, there's a bunch of the DLC stuff I've never done. I've never done any Nuka World. I haven't finished Far Harbor. I haven't really played the game for myself for a while now. Once I started doing this, I lost a little bit of interest in just playing the other characters I've got for finding things out. So, yeah. But see, yeah, this is what I mean about the looking for dog meat. He's not come back here. So he must still be close to the glowing sea or something. Last time I saw him, that's where he was. That's where we were. This glowing fungus keeps regrowing pretty quickly. So which way do I actually want to go? Maybe I'll go via Boston. I mean, that's on its way to Thingamy. If I go to Boston, I can go to Hangman's Alley and save the game. Hey, Upward Boss! How's it going? Sorry if I didn't spot that immediately. I have to keep turning right to see the chat. Okay. $1:46 in the morning, bloody hell. So if it's 1:46 in the morning for you, where do you live? Somewhere in North America, I imagine, or the Americas. Could be South America. I imagine most of the people who occasionally stop by tend to be from other parts of the world. Because there's not a lot of people in Australia that watch Twitch things. Canada, right. I think I had somebody else from Canada stop by a while back when I was playing this, but I was playing it at like... Well, see, it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. And I was playing, it was like midnight or 1 AM and they stopped by, so I figured that must be early morning. Time zones are really screwy. You never played Fallout 4? Well, I mean, in all honesty, you're not actually missing much. It's okay. It's not great. Fallout New Vegas is better. Well, if you're a fan of Bethesda games, you should like it then, because it's a Bethesda game. It's just got guns instead of swords. Although it's still got swords, if you want. But since Bethesda bought the franchise rights, they yeah, it's a Bethesda game that looks different. Although the problem, one of the major issues with this is it's kind of, It's kind of generic, but one of the things they put a lot of time and effort into was the settlement crafting system, and it's actually not necessary. It's kind of fun for wasting time, but it's really not necessary. You don't have to do it. Well, you do have to do a part of it for main questline stuff, but given that Bethesda games are pretty much about wandering around a big map and doing shit, it's not necessary. But if you're doing that wandering around, it becomes useful. Actually, it's especially useful on survival, which is what I'm playing on, because it gives you more places that are safe havens where you can sleep and save the game. What I didn't do with this character, which I probably should have, was have a higher charisma so that I could establish supply lines between my settlements. As it is, I have to carry all of the crap between settlements in order to build them. Wait a minute, does that mean I'm hungry? Peckish. There we go. But yeah, it's just that they put a lot of time into making Minecraft in a Bethesda game, and a lot of the rest of the stuff is kind of not so much fallen by the wayside, but just kind of unrefined. But yeah, if you like Bethesda games, I don't see why you wouldn't like it. Unless you just don't like guns. Started a new Oblivion character last night. I haven't played Oblivion in ages. Played it a lot though. I played Skyrim a lot as well. I had this weird thing where I would keep restarting and making new characters and never finish anything with them. Because I have this thing in this mindset where if it's a role-playing game, which unfortunately it isn't, if it's a role-playing game, you should be able to play the game quite differently or do different things with different characters, but the way that Bethesda games work, they kind of just change the way you engage in combat. Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion, yeah, that was actually pretty good in Oblivion. It was one of the better ones. I mean, the Mages Guild was kind of meh. Dark Brotherhood with all that intrigue and sneaking around. I think that in Skyrim the Dark Brotherhood one is I mean, it's still alright. But I think a lot of the good intrigue stuff made it over into the Thieves Guild questline in Skyrim. What with the nightingales and everything. Oh, here comes the Brotherhood. Of Steel, that is. You got things that they're shooting at? Let's go see. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Need to replace Skyrim, yeah. Yeah, it was... Whoa, okay. Shooting over this way. What's this way? I played Skyrim a lot, but as I said, most of it was creating new characters, restarting the game, and then not finishing anything. I think I only ever finished the main quest line once. Oh, that's right. There's this person out in the middle of nowhere. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Scaver. Let's trade.
Sure. Let's take a look.
What you got? Whoa. You're armed to the teeth. Yikes. Alright, I'm gonna sell these bottle cap mines. Don't think I have anything else to sell. Okay, 50 caps, it's not much. Yeah, it's actually not a bad place. Alright. I should go back to sneaking. Oh, that's that. Oh, yeah, I remember that place now. It's gonna have a bunch of things like that, isn't it? Alright. Could you stop moving so I can shoot you, please? Oh. My aim sucks. Stand still. Actually, my aim's not as bad in this as it is in other things. I was, because of the recent Steam sale, I bought a couple of Resident Evil games, the Revelations ones, and I was playing one of them last night, and man, it was terrible to try and aim with. Oh my! No. I wanted to reload. Is that every bear? Let me check the map. Nope, not cleared. Don't judge. Well, I probably spent more than you did. Because I had one bunch of games, there was $70 US, which was just over 100. And then when I bought a bunch of other things, it was like 50, so I spent a bit more than you. Yeah, I'm Australian. Where was that other... Where's the other bear? Oh, there it is. Right. There's got to be more around here. Unless there's, like, ghouls or something in some of the houses. There might be. Should have thought of that. Don't want to go spending my time clearing the whole place. Alright, stuff it. That's the hospital, right? Yeah, the hospital with all the super mutants. Giant glowing cockroach. It died really easily. I wonder if it was a legendary one. It's really funny when you can kill a legendary thing that quickly. Alright, well, let's just go and get the map marker. Oh, and yeah, that's right. Ooh, wait a minute. No, can't see it. If you ever come across a super mutant suicider, shoot the mini nuke they're carrying and they explode. Can save you a lot of effort. Although if you want the mini nuke, you can kill them as long as they don't use it. Spyro Trilogy, RDR2. Is Red Dead Redemption 2 not coming to PC? That's a shame. Actually, was the first one on PC or not? I can't even remember. I didn't actually play it. So I'm not terribly interested in Rockstar games at the moment. They're doing much the same thing as other... First one wasn't, okay. Rockstar's doing much the same thing as a lot of other big publishers are doing these days, where it's like their brand is their games, and they don't have different kinds of games. They just only publish the same kinds of games, no matter what franchise. Like Ubisoft has Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, but they're both pretty much the same thing. They play the same way. Running around open world, too much crap to do. Damn it! Damn it! Die! Ah. Far Cry and AC. Well, I mean, thematically, yeah, but in terms of them being open world games where you run around the map and uncover the map and do side quest things and all that sort of stuff, they're pretty much the generic Ubisoft game experience now. Well, I'll take your word for it, Assassin's Creed is better. I haven't really played either of those franchises in a long time. What was I looking for? Do I think I need some jet? It might help. Let's use some jet. Okay, maybe I didn't need the jet. Get AC Odyssey. You gonna do a lot of Spartan kicks? Seen the early gameplay stuff for that. Okay. I don't really have the kind of money that could afford to buy a game twice, but it doesn't matter because the most recent console I have is a second-hand GameCube. That should be... yeah, that's Jamaica Plains. Now I won't be irradiated by the water. That is Jamaica Plain, right? No, it's Hyde Park. Damn it. Ooh, where are they going? Why is the Brotherhood guy showing up in red? Your PC doesn't have a disk drive. So you'll just be getting digital stuff. Ooh, wait a minute, I should be drinking some water. And in real life, just give me a second. My thoughts on Fallout 76. I'm not impressed. I get what they're going for, and, you know, they want to make money. But, the fact that it's going to be just a multiplayer game, even if you can play it on your own, it's just a multiplayer game. And it's basically this without the NPCs, but with friends. Because they're taking, as I said, I was talking about the settlement system that they built for this. They seem to just want to take that and make it a multiplayer version. So you'll be building your own stuff. Yeah. So I probably won't be getting Fallout 76 myself. I don't object to the notion of a multiplayer Fallout game, but Bethesda aren't the people to make it, because they've got no track record with multiplayer games. And they don't really make good Fallout games either, because they make Bethesda games, and they're not really good at role-playing. And Fallout is an actual role-playing game. Or it was. It's one of those, I've probably said it a lot of times, I don't know how many people have heard me say it, but people tend to see like a they look at old like pen and paper role-playing games, and they see the stats, they see the dice rolls, they see all that sort of stuff, and they think, okay, so that's a role-playing game, and they kind of ignore the fact that that is the game part. The role-playing is playing a role, choosing your behavior, not just choosing how you engage in combat. Because it can also be about whether or not you choose whether to engage in combat at all. So, yeah. So the funny thing about, you see some reviews that people would put up for this game. Like, some people think it's absolute shit, and some people think it's the best thing ever. And the thing is that neither of them are true, it's just okay. Might get Black Ops 4. No. I won't. Last Call of Duty game I played was, ooh, shit, I'm getting, whoa, irradiated to fucking death here. Yikes. Last Call of Duty game I played, one that I actually played was Modern Warfare 3. I think the most recent one I've got is Black Ops 2, but I bought that years later, on sale. Yeah, lack of campaign. They seem to be really, that Black Ops developer, Treyarch, they seem to be really up on the whole zombies thing, and I'm getting really sick of just everything must have zombies. What am I looking for? Radaway. Let's drink and eat. And let's take some Rad-X actually while I'm at it. What the hell is all that gunfire I can hear? I mean, obviously it's gunfire, but why am I hearing it? What is going on? Gunners, eh? That's I guess I don't really care about gunners then. They can all die. Oh, they're fighting Brotherhood. No! I kind of like the Brotherhood. I mean, I like them more than the Gunners, anyway. Ooh, and super mutants. Oh, crap. Yeah, because you got in my way! Oh, shit. I'm screwed. Okay. Should not have gone to try and loot the body that was under the thing. Now I have to go all the way back to fucking... what's-his-face? October is going to be busy. Yeah, why do they release all their games in October and November? I suppose it's in time for Christmas, but not in the mad rush. Oh, that's right, Americans. Thanksgiving and Black Friday. That's right. That's why they do it. Just remembered that. All the way back here. Alright. Whoa. Bloody broken game loading controls things. Wait a minute, I've got a water thing I built. Assassin's Creed, Forza, Battlefield, Call of Duty. Oh yeah, too. And there's probably more other big games coming out then too. That's just the ones that you want. But in fairness, most of the rest of the year doesn't have as many big releases that everybody wants. Because games are coming out all the time, it's just not all of them are the oh, I lost my train of thought.
Plenty of shops inside the city.
I don't need to trade, I need to get the last, like, 15 minutes back of exploration and looting and killing and stuff. Screw this, I'm just going to go straight to my destination. Lego game? What's the Lego game that's coming out later this year? I suppose there's always one coming out, but... Oh, that's right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. DC supervillains, isn't it? That's the one. I remember seeing stuff about that. Enjoy the Marvel ones. Well, I bought a couple of the Marvel ones, and I bought a bunch of the Lego Batman ones as well. Because they were on special. Quite cheap. So it's a lot of games, it means it's a lot of stuff I can do on stream and waste time. Yeah, Cyberpunk is a while off, as far as I know. Still probably a couple of years. Oh, come on, that should have hit him. Damn it, stop moving! So bad at hitting moving targets. That Spider-Man game has been in development for quite a while now, hasn't it? It really needs to be good. Otherwise, everyone's going to be thinking, wait a minute, I've been waiting years for this. And it comes out and it's just as bad as all the other Spider-Man games, because apparently they're all pretty bad. The last Spider-Man game I played was... It was something that was available... It was available on PC. It was like one of those crossover ones where it had... Yeah, long development time doesn't always mean a good game, though. I mean, look at Duke Nukem Forever. It was like more than a decade in development. And it was basically a slightly graphically improved version of Duke Nukem 3D. Really depends on what happened during that time. Because sometimes what happens that ends up screwing things up is that it takes that long because somebody keeps saying, oh, you know, we've got to change this, we've got to do this, or this, or, you know, to try and keep up with current trends. It's like they had a certain design in mind, and then something else becomes popular, and they think, okay, we've got to put that into our game. And then, by the time they've implemented it, something else has become popular, and oh, we've got to put that into the game as well. Did it actually take 5 years to make God of War? Because, I mean, there are a lot of people who were thinking that Mass Effect Andromeda took 5 years, simply because it was 2017 when it came out, but it actually only had about 18 months of development. So, as long as they actually spent that much time actually working on the game and not thinking, okay, we've got to keep changing it to keep up with the current trends. Really, it'll just depend on what you want out of the game, of course. So they did actually start developing it then, okay. Yeah. Because, you know, if they run into financial trouble, there's all so many things that can just go wrong over that long of a time period. Whereas they've gotten much more efficient at making, like, movies and that. They can, you know, take 6 months or something to actually film the damn thing, and that's if it's got a lot of practical stuff it needs done. And they just, oh, we'll fix it in post kind of thing. So they're getting more efficient at making, like, big movies, but it's hard to be more efficient at making big games unless you're just recycling a lot of stuff. It's restarted. Yeah, they probably, what happened was they had an idea, and then usually the thing I think that happens in that case is that somebody else got put in charge and then decided to change it. And maybe not necessarily a developer got put in charge, but like a different executive at somewhere. Yeah, 3 to 5 year cycles. Also depends on the size of the team. Not that you can get more done with a bigger team in a shorter space of time, but it doesn't necessarily make for a better game. I mean, that's what Ubisoft does. They have huge development teams, and they still have huge development teams making big open worlds with not a lot to do, but a lot of stuff seemingly to do with side missions and stuff. Well, it's good for them if their development has been going smoothly. Because, is this where I'm going? Oopsie. Should have been sneaking. Some companies are more stable and are less likely to lose head people. Like, as much as I seemingly was ragging on them just before, I mean, Bethesda is pretty stable, so they don't tend to have massive changes happen. Anyway, shouldn't you be in bed? It's nice that you stopped by, but if you need sleep, I suggest you go sleep. This is a problem with Bethesda games. Loading screens. Cease at
The
once.
vault doors were meant to withstand a direct nuclear strike. Your attempts to breach this facility are laughable. Leave at once, or there will be consequences. Whoever
Hey, it's Melina.
Stop.
It's definitely the voice of Melina. Yeah, Andromeda was restarted because it was given a different team. Given to a different team, a new company that was formed. There's even people saying, like, oh, you're from BioWare, but it wasn't really even from BioWare. Yeah. I think that's actually something that really needs to be curbed, is this announcing things when they're just a concept.
You have a Pip-Boy? Wait. Are you Vault-Tec? Have you finally come to save me? Please. I'm trapped behind a mountain of rubble. The key to freeing me is getting the workshop operational. First, lift the security lockdown and get to the reactor room.
Is that too often these days I think they, well, aside from doing what they did with like No Man's Sky, where they overpromised on stuff they couldn't deliver.
It's been hard to maintain the faith.
But
So many years stranded here. But you can assure Dr. Braun, if he's even still around, that I have used
yeah, it's like we've got this idea for a game and we're going to announce it,
great work is ready to
even though we've
begin.
barely started working on it. Which actually, is, funnily enough, is one thing I can applaud Bethesda for, because they usually wait. They usually wait. They didn't do it just recently with Elder Scrolls 6. They just wanted to say to people, look, yes, we are going to make an Elder Scrolls 6, but they've barely started work on it, so they probably shouldn't have done that. But like with this game, they announced it 6 months before it was coming out. Fallout 76, I mean, that's going to be coming out this year, isn't it? It's part of the idea. So they're waiting until, for the most part, they're waiting until they're ready to release it before they announce it. I think that's a much better way to go. And if people are bothered, they can say, yes, we are working on something, but we don't want to get your hopes up just yet, because it's nowhere near finished. And they'd rather show off something that's pretty close to being finished. Ooh, purified water. Let's turn the lights on. Antibiotics are also useful. Yeah. Yeah, but you like knowing it exists so you can look forward to it, but they've also said that Cyberpunk 2077 is still a while away, so you've been waiting for quite a long time. I mean, it's... yeah. I would rather not have that kind of anticipation. Because generally, I mean, CD Projekt have not... They've not really let anyone down yet, so they get a bit of leeway, I guess, but if you announce something that's so far away, the number of times it ends up being cancelled. I mean, look at all of the Microsoft Xbox exclusives that they announced, and they've either later been cancelled or just constantly delayed.
Good. Very good. Vault-Tec workshops require their control board to function. During emergencies, the procedure is to store it in the reactor room. Look in there and you should find it.
Shadow of the Tomb. Yeah, I've only played the reboot a couple of years after it came out, I think, when it was on special. I considered getting the second one just recently, but didn't. Ah, damn it. I died. I should have taken some jet or something. That sucks. I'm wasting time here. That's what I hate most about playing on survival, is the fact that not only is it very easy to die, you can't quick save. And there's no autosaves either. And it's not as much fun as one would think it should be. I mean, you don't really play it for fun, I suppose. It's supposed to be a challenge kind of thing, but start trying to do long quests, you just keep end up dying over and over again. But I'm the last person to really talk to about getting excited for video games, because I don't really get excited terribly much anymore. So, no, don't let me get you down, basically. If you're excited for something that's still years away, it's good for you, still having joy in your life. Oh, am I thirsty? That's what that means, right? Yeah, it means I'm thirsty.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, I don't really get excited. It's basically the I could put that as the tag of the channel, couldn't I? I could review games and say it's okay, I guess. And that'd be the quote. Nobody would want to use it, but they could if they wanted to. I tend to get more easily frustrated and angry rather than excited. It does beg the question, why the hell do I still play games if I don't really enjoy them anymore? And when you think about it, the real question is, did I ever actually really enjoy them? I've been playing them since I was a kid, but... Sea of Thieves is a resounding compliment, yeah. Yeah. And see, that's another game that has actually been announced years ago and only finally just came out. And that's one of the things that is a worry, I think, with announcing something so far ahead of when it comes out, because people will have really high expectations. And if you've got a bare bones game, I don't necessarily know if it's a bad game as a base, but the fact that it has practically nothing to do is the serious issue. I Maybe it only had a small development team, and that's why it took so long to make a fairly small game. But trying to just coast along... It's a bad game, is it? Just trying to coast along and, oh, it's a multiplayer thing where people can just muck around and do stuff is not a good way to go about designing a game. That, oh, it'll be good because people will just keep playing it. Yeah, but just because it was made by Rare doesn't mean it was made by everyone who works at Rare. They might have had one team working on that and a different team working on something else. Maybe. I don't know. I tend to not want to find out a lot of the inner workings of these things because it just gets really depressing. Oh, bloody radiation. They were only working on Sea of Thieves. Jeez. They managed to massively tarnish their reputation, then. Then again, maybe I should ask, what was the last good game that Rare made? Because I know that they're fondly remembered for the stuff they put out back in the 90s, but have they made many good games since then? Perfect Dark. Yeah, like I said, depressing. Get out of the water. Right, so there was a couple of raiders?
What the?
Why did you not die from being shot in the head with a laser? Shit show, since Microsoft bought them, that probably sounds like Microsoft is the problem. Which, I mean, yeah. Microsoft kind of is the problem. And like I said, all of the stuff to do with Xbox One exclusives that either got cancelled or delayed. Probably because they thought, oh, you know, some of them were cancelled because, well, we don't make as much money as we thought we would because we thought we would lead the market. Because we were leading the market with the 360. But, I mean, it's like how Sony is behaving now with this attitude about crossplay, despite the fact that you've got an increasing number of people that are asking for crossplay. And Sony is opposed to the idea because they want people to buy PlayStations. But that's the exact same attitude that... Ah, fuck. Their attitude is the exact same attitude that allowed them to win this console generation because Microsoft had grown complacent. And now Sony, realizing that they needed to claw it back, now that they're ahead, are getting complacent again. Gears 5. I've never played any of the Gears of War games. Largely because I think none of them, except for more recent ones, were available on PC. Pretty much always been a PC gamer myself. Well, this is really going nowhere. You know what? Fuck this quest. I'm not doing this quest. I'm doing something else. But, yeah. It's like there was that Scalebound that was being made by Platinum. A lot of people like Platinum, but they cancelled it. Because, from what I heard at the time, it was like there was no way that they could force in multiplayer and microtransactions. 1 and 4 are the only ones on PC. Yeah, well, I know 4 is on PC because it was on Xbox One, and basically Microsoft decided that given that they were trailing the market, they may as well have crossplay stuff, or stuff that's on Xbox One on the Windows Store as well. Scalebound, yeah. As I was saying, they cancelled Scalebound. There was before that, because they bought was it Lionhead, the guys who make Fable and Fable Legends, I think it was called, and it was, as far as I understood, it was almost finished. It was all but finished, and they decided to not release it and close the studio. And that was within the first year and a half of the Xbox One being out, I think, within the first 2 years. And now they've pushed back Crackdown 3. They were talking about it last year, I think, and now it's been delayed again. Yeah. All because they thought, oh, we're going to do brilliantly, and then all of a sudden they didn't do brilliantly. So they're cutting costs by canning development on games that... Yeah. Had a concrete release date November 7th, last year. Well, I wouldn't trust anything Microsoft says about release dates. But they're all behind the notion of crossplay because, frankly, there's no reason not to be if they're trailing the market, because they can't convince people to come to the Xbox because of exclusives, because they have almost none. Now, 2019, huh? Okay. February, too. Do a lot of good games come out in February, or big games come out in February? I think some publishers are catching on to good times to release games, like Capcom with Resident Evil. They're going to be releasing the Resident Evil 2 remake in January. And not a lot of big games come out in January, so a lot of people will be excited for it. It's probably going to be... Well, I think those are the best-selling games that Capcom has made in years, are remakes of Resident Evil games. Division. Didn't play the Division either. There's a lot of games. A lot of MMOs I don't really play. Don't really know why. I've tried a couple, but most of that was a long time ago, and they didn't play the same way as they do these days. I mean, come to think of it, how many MMOs have I actually played? I tried City of Heroes. I tried Champions Online. I tried DC Universe Online. I think that was the first one to really try making the game play like a regular game and have the MMO stuff not be quite as intrusive, like everything being on cooldowns and stuff like that, where it had you equipped with basic attacks that you could use without limitation. And then, yeah, your special abilities on top of that. Which is something that Elder Scrolls Online does, and that's a bit more playable. Yeah, you definitely need your sleep if it's getting like 2:30 in the morning. Have a good night's sleep. See you later. That's the back of the vault. Swan's Pond. Don't want to go to Swan's Pond. Why is it that one has not respawned, and yet the glowing fungus that is behind the Red Rocket truck stop thing is always respawning? Okay, so Super Mutants, something, it's near... Oh, that's right, it was on Faneuil Hall? Is that where they said it was? That's over this way with Super Mutants on it, I think. Raider scum. Yep. Settler's note. Is it a unique settler's note, or is it the same as all the other settler's notes I've probably found? Hmm? Boston Marital Shelter. Well, it's on the map now, that's right. Getting map markers without having to actually explore the map is always useful. Alright, where are the muties? Wait a minute, that was an outside marker. Why is it now an inside marker? Is it just because I'm closer to where it is? You know what? Given my experiences with this episode, I'm going to go and save the game.
Now, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my time, but a flying ship?
Oh, I appear to be thirsty again.
Oh, you. Staying with us today? Renter assumes no expectation of privacy or safety for you or your belongings.
Well, that is not reassuring.
Top floor, long hallway, last room on the right.
Yeah, I've done this before. Yeah, everybody else owns their bed. Except this bed in here should totally not be owned, because that was where the Vault-Tec rep was. He's dead now, unfortunately. And I managed to succeed in convincing him to go to Sanctuary. And a bunch of bloody gunners killed him. At least I think it was gunners. It was in front of the mass fusion building, and that's full of gunners. Is it to be like Steam?
We're lucky the mayor likes outsiders.
Otherwise it's a... Because I've seen that in real life, I think. When a road is hot and then it starts raining and it evaporates. Otherwise it's a disturbing kind of glow that makes me think, maybe I shouldn't be visiting. Loading. actually. Well, I think I should be drinking something. I went past the P's. Purified water, there we are. Probably been a while since I've been here in game time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everything's gone and respawned. Although, a shotgun shell, pretty sure I would have taken something like ammunition. Aluminium. Alright, so I want to go in there, right? I could probably go in there as well. Oh no. Alright, this place is loaded with super mutants.
What's that?
That sucks, is what that is. It's sucking.
Here's playing tricks on me again. No fight today. No fight today. No.
Cold. Well, it's not cold then. Tool? Foul? Yes. There we go. It was the O. Oh, there's two of them. Awesome.
Gonna be a good fight. Gonna find you. Gonna kill you.
Unidentified intruder detected. Beginning search.
Ooh, 3. That's, ooh, I like this.
Local law enforcement authorities.
Hell you!
Intruder. Identify yourself.
Hey, fellas.
Approach and identify yourself. Law-abiding citizens will not be harmed.
Nice.
You're here! You're here! Stop hiding! Stringy, bony, but tasty. Better than ramen. Or blood. Anything's better than bombs. Not ghouls. Ha! You're right, brother. Not ghouls.
It's funny hearing super mutants talk to each other.
Kill. Kill.
Did you set that off? I hope you set that off. So, legendary Protectron, and it's severely damaged. That's a shame. Of course I didn't set it off. That's right, I've got the sneak perk. I don't set off ground traps.
Time to die!
Hide.
Fugitive is attempting to evade capture. Beginning pursuit. Attention, citizens. You may now resume your normal activities.
Okay. It's got like half health.
Where'd you go? Huh? Gotta find you. Gotta kill you.
Looks like I may not be getting help with the upper levels. Once I refresh my memory on how to actually get to the upper levels. Ooh, bobby pins. And caps.
Approach and identify. Law-abiding citizens will not be harmed.
I can still set off those ones.
Gonna find you soon, human.
You're not hearing me, you're hearing the robots. Now, can I just go up the stairs? Right.
Face me, coward.
Alright. Clearly, I have to use the lift.
I hear something. Stupid noises. Huh? What's that?
Not actually in combat.
No fight today.
No, there'll be a fight. You'll just have to wait a bit while I pilfer everything in sight. Oops. Damn monkeys.
What? Who's there?
Ooh, sugar bombs. Don't know why I collect the sugar bombs. I'm probably thinking of something they were good for making in Fallout New Vegas. Because they were good for something in that. I forget what, but it was definitely something.
Going up.
Right, I should probably get ready.
Third floor.
Oh, no wonder.
Someone there.
Get ready with the... Gotta be kidding me. I could just go up the stairs here? I'm an idiot.
You're here. Stop hiding.
Where are you? Ooh, death claw hand. Well, at least I can save the game after I've kill these guys. There we go. Okay, that's not so good. I mean, it's okay, but final shot of the magazine deals twice normal damage. You gotta make sure you don't miss. X fusion cells. I'm glad that the upgrade I did to this gun is increased its ammo capacity as well. Save the game. Oh, yeah. That's when the loading's the worst. Going from an interior cell to the open world. Come on. Better not have stalled on me. That happens sometimes. I mean, I am in the middle of Boston right now, so there might be a lot of stuff to load. But hey, Bethesda, this is something to innovate on. Maybe fix the loading times. Compress things better or something. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. Marty Bullfinch.
Bingo.
Food for the grasshopper. Right, so that's the, yeah. This is the guy that,
Nikki, you old bucket of bolts, it's Marty. I know it's been a while, but I came across a little mystery I thought might get your circuits
I think I
firing.
already listened to this.
You remember that ugly grasshopper statue on top of Faneuil Hall? Turns out it's got a note in it. A note written by the son of one Shem Drown. I don't expect that name means anything to you, but the guy was a coppersmith. Way back when folks did shit like that. Apparently, this note leads straight to the old guy's stash. I don't know what's in it, but I'd sure like to know if it's still there. I'm gonna go do a little recon on the hall. If you decide you want to get the team back together, you let me know.
A25 1742? Okay. I don't want to get down off this building first. And there is some scaffolding on this side. Yes. Mentats. I think when I get this sorted out, and I get myself somewhere I can save the game, probably back at Sanctuary, because let's face it, I like going back there to make sure that I dump all of my good modding supplies and crafting supplies in the same place. It's where I need to go if I want to make weapon upgrades. Oh, that's right, there's a little cemetery here, isn't there? For some reason. Seems an odd place to put a cemetery, as far as I'm concerned. What is this place? Mean pastries. There's so many unmarked locations on the map. You can actually enter into them. And that's yet another weird thing that I... Another weird little thing that is, I think is a favorable comparison as far as, Fallout New Vegas is concerned. In that it had a lot more, Fallout New Vegas had a lot more marked locations on the map. It's just made it a lot better for getting around. Targets take radiation damage. Okay, that's that quest done. Nobody wants to hear about it anymore? Okay. I don't really want to take his skull. I'll take his money and his sword, but I don't really want to take his skull. So, and you know what? Yeah, I probably should go back to Sanctuary. Yeah, I'll go to Sanctuary. Thinking that thingy hideout is right there, railroad headquarters. But I don't have any missions to turn in or anything, so. Get back to Sanctuary, do a little bit of housekeeping, save the game, and I think I'll call that stream episode, whatever. But hey, we actually had company this time. Why do these guys keep respawning now? This is not how it's supposed to work. So I'm going to take that leather chest piece, because getting some, and the leather bits. Getting leather is always quite useful for mods. Yeah, that keeps respawning guys, and this thing doesn't, and I feel like I never actually properly killed them all there either. It probably does say I cleared it though, doesn't it, on the map? Nope, not cleared. Not cleared, and I don't think it was ever actually cleared. So, yeah, it's Cambridge Polymer Labs. One of those places that's close to where you start the game, and I've never been into it. It's my own fault that it ends up with this sort of tedium towards the end of every adventure. These things are always responding to. I suppose I shouldn't complain. Part of the problem is, though, even if I had taken, gone for a higher charisma so I could get local leader to establish the supply lines, you still are only able to use those supply lines to build the settlements, not to do any of the crafting within the settlements, just from the workshop, where you build workshop items like furniture and housing and stuff like that, and defenses and what have you. It's really useful for building defenses, so that if you've got all your stuff being shared around. But when you go to one place, being able to build the settlement stuff is not as useful as being able to build any modifications that you want. Or indeed any of the other crafting things, like, despite the fact that it will share the inventory for crafting the settlement stuff, it doesn't allow you to, say, take all of the food things that are in one workshop and craft that into food items, or indeed things like what's it, the adhesive that you can make vegetable starch. That's it. If I've got all of my mute fruit and corn and potatoes stored in Sanctuary, and I have a supply line connected to another place, I can't go to that place and then make vegetable starch, because that's not how it works. So it's good if you can go to a new place, new settlement location, build a beacon, build a settlement recruitment beacon, get a new settler to show up. The first one will usually show up almost immediately, and then you tell them to be your supply line doohickey, whatever.
Seems to be growing well.
Mule, I guess. And that's, yeah, it's useful. And as I said before, even more useful on survival. But it still means when I want to make stuff. Good. When I make stuff, I would have to go to where I've got the most components stored.
Very clever.
Psychojet. Use circuitry to make Psycho. Oh, and hub flower. Oh. But stim packs, no. Then again, I don't end up using them all that often, but still. So that's where things, that's where all of those other things end up coming in. That's Bloodleaf to make Ultrajet. Fury. Oh, you make a Berserker syringe for the Syringer. Combine it with Buff Out. For melee damage. I don't know why you want the Perception so much. Although, yeah, actually, Perception does affect your accuracy and VATS, doesn't it? So. I think Psycho Jet is the best use for that. I mean, I know Psycho tends to, yeah, it lasts longer. And Psycho Jet doesn't last very long, because it actually, the whole effect wears off quite quickly, including the damage resistance and damage buff. But having the extra long, slow time, as well as a damage buff, makes it quite useful. Carrots for orange mentats. I can make plenty of jet, well, not plenty, I suppose. Fertilizer and plastic to make jet. Oh, that's also useful information to know that the description here is the base thing, and this over here on the right will tell you, on the left, sorry, this over here, I was trying to move the mouse to show what I was talking about, tells you the active effect you're getting based on any bonuses, because I'm getting a 50% bonus because of Chemist. Grape mentats. 5 charisma. Whiskey, mentats, and hubflower. Oh, you can't make buff out. That's... yeah. So you can make Psycho, you can make Jet, you can make all of these other weird things, but you can't make buff out. You have to find buff out. I usually end up making buff tats. 3 strength, endurance, perception, and 65 max health. I usually make those because I think buff out is yeah, 2 strength and endurance, so it makes it 3. And because I usually don't end up using mentats. But when you think about it, this character could have a use for grape mentats. I end up often just using buff tats for carrying extra stuff. That's the main reason. That's why I buff it up to being a +3. Antibiotics, yes. 3 stim packs to make antibiotics. away. Yeah, that's actually not so good in survival. See, again, you can see the modification over in the HP 500 rads minus 100. Normally it's rads minus 1000. Because it says over here, removes all rads and cures addictions. It'll still be useful for the curing addictions, but it's not as good as it is normally. Because Radaway does a lot better. It says removes 300, but I've got 450. I mean, is that because of Chemist? I don't actually have... That must surely be because of Chemist. It's lasting for longer, therefore it's removing more rads. And it just tells me in the amount, because it doesn't tell me how long it takes to clear them. Bear that in mind. Chemist, yeah, 50% extra duration means that that's going to be removing more rads. It'll just take longer to do it. And that'd be the difference with the perk, the medic or whatever perk. The use of that is that it will remove more faster. Or, you know, Stimpaks will heal faster because it will be over the same duration. Yeah, that's based on it. That's a percentage. That's not going to be adjusted by thingy, is it? No. That thing for getting extra meat out of animals is very useful for the sake of the ones that need 2 pieces to make a cooked piece. That's another thing I was thinking too, is I could swear that maybe it's only on normal, but I could swear that when you've got something that produces a lot more water than you actually need, particularly if it's a water purifier, which I do have down in the river, that you end up acquiring purified water in the workshop, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Actually, no, I think I might hang on to that and sell that. See, that's better, ignoring damage resistance, because as a rifleman, I'll only be getting to a certain percentage of penetration, and that will do even more. So that's basically just going through armor and energy resistance. So that's a better one to have than one that does double damage on the final shot of the magazine. I'm going to keep that as a collector's piece. Got a lot of antibiotics, but kind of end up needing them. I only ever make this stuff while I'm here anyway, so I may as well put away some of that stuff. Clothing Blood pack, boiling fungus, radiated blood. Must have found a psycho buff. I definitely didn't make it. Meat, sugar bombs, potatoes. .308s, 44s, 50s, shotgun shells. If I got something that's reducing my strength, tired, yes, and peckish. Alright, well, anyway, I can deal with that stuff later.
I can't remember the last time I had clean fingernails.
I am going to do this, and that'll be game saved, and I'm going to call it a day for this game. I don't know if I'll stream anything later tonight or not. Possibly. Still a whole bunch of grinding for legendaries in Injustice 2. Anyway, thanks anybody for watching, if they do in future, and thanks Upward Boss for stopping by. Sorry to keep you up so late. Not that I am the one who fully kept you up. Hope you're sleeping well. I'll see everybody next time, whenever, for whatever. Bye!